Hello there, Christian here, and here's our second memories video of the season. And this is my memories, Black River and Western Railroad. The Black River and Western Railroad was a railroad I believe I discovered in 2018 after my 2 visits to Strasburg of seeing 90. And I discovered it at the same time as I did the New Hope at Ivyland, and I used to get them both mixed up. I remember there was another Great Western engine that was on the East Coast, but I could never remember which one it was. And in some ways, I always thought it was the New Hope at Ivyland 40 because of the fact she wore a Reading 6 chime and a bell that sounds very similar to 90. And then when I actually finally figured out which one was which, they're not even that far from one another. And no, they look nothing alike. I'm just saying I got them mixed up the first few times I heard about them. So 2019, the year I really overextended myself, started a trend for a few years. I remember discovering the Black River and Western Railroad after a series of trying to figure out how to make up not seeing 3415. I made my way out to the Black River and Western Railroad the first weekend of June for their annual Railfest. I figured one day was all I would need to get all the shots that I had seen, minus the bridge shot because I was expecting it to be overgrown. I remember I had the most interesting luck going to the railroad. My GPS rerouted me for an accident that was accidentally reported that never happened. Took all these weird back roads before I finally got myself down there. And when I finally got myself down to the Black River and Western Railroad, there was mechanical issues with 60 to start off the day, and they were running the diesel. And after verifying that 60 would be out, they figured out what the issue was. I stayed put because then my plan was, oh shoot, do I go to Strasburg or do I finally go to Steamtown, which had been on my list forever. And the Black River and Western Railroad was cool. 60 was cool to me. It was wearing a Grand Trunk Western 6 chime, which is the whistle I always catch the locomotive wearing. I've caught it with 2 different variants, but it's always sounded great. But that was literally my first taste of the Black River and Western Railroad. I thought it was cool to see the Pensy diesel. I still have yet to catch the Pensy Heritage unit. That's one of my favorites. I've caught all the static Pennsylvania Railroad steam locomotives, but I've never have actually seen one operate. For obvious reasons, there's only 643, and I remember leaving there that year going, well, I'd like to come back for Christmas trains at some point. And the ride home, if I remember correctly, wasn't as bad as the ride up. It was a pretty neat visit. It was a really short weekend visit, and to be honest, I didn't know when I was going to squeeze 60 into my schedule, other than I was like, you know what, one of these days I'm going to squeeze 60 in again. So 2020, if I remember correctly, there was talk about 60 operating when the Black River and Western Railroad reopened, but it never did happen. And in 2021, again, ironically, I was trying to plan to go see 3415 when the time got denied for it at my last company, which was great because it actually meant a cheaper 4th of July for me, and I ended up going down. My initial plan was to chase the Wilmington and Western 58 and then spend 2 days with 425 in the Gorge. And looking at I remember that Saturday when I got down to my hotel, everything south of my hotel was literally just a rain fest. When my buddy Train Chamber and Tai Tai, the train guy, messaged me asking me what the plans were, because that was also when 611 had her second mechanical issue of 2021. If anyone remembers, the stoker broke, delaying it a week, which actually pushed my plans back 2 weeks of seeing the 611 in 2021. And then the weekend of the 4th of July, the 611 had, I forget exactly what the issue was, other than it was sidelined that weekend too. And Tai Tai's plans got rearranged, and both of them said, come out to the Black River and Western Railroad. They're finally ready to debut the 60 for the first time in 2 years. And I decided to take a gamble, and I drove out to the railroad, and sure enough, Black River and Western 60 was operating for the first time since the Christmas trains in 2019. And it was the second time I saw it that 60 really impressed me. I followed Train Chambers' directions that day. I remember hiking into a spa, but it was just a great day. It was my first time seeing 60 again in 2 years. And it was that day that I was like, you know what, this engine really is an underrated gem, in my personal opinion. Yeah, it gets a lot of attention because it's in a small tourist railroad in New Jersey, but like, when you really think about it, like, yeah, lots of people do shoot it over the years, but like, compared to 90, I feel like 60 doesn't get the attention that its older running mate did of the Great Western Railway. But then again, 90 also operates at Strasburg, 60 operates at Black River and Western. Both fantastic railroads. Not saying one or the other, just obviously Strasburg's more popular. But the 2021 adventure really was like one of my favorite times down at the Black River and Western Railroad. So 2022, it was known that they were going to do a photo charter again. And unfortunately I had to pass because that was when I was moving into my second apartment. But in 2022, even though I took this massive step back, I still wanted to see the 60 before it went out. Fortunately, plans never came together. Same thing with 425's last runs. I'll wait till 60 comes back. And in 2023, it was revealed that 60 did have a little bit of time left. It would be operating Easter trains. Then it was announced that Dan Drennan was doing a second photo charter ever at the railroad. Going for new locations and same locations on the line as the 2022 charter, this charter would have been better if it wasn't an absolute rain fest. I want to take the moment to talk about this in the Black River and Western Memories video. Major props go out to the Black River and Western crew and Dan Drennan's crew, because I've never seen a photo charter organized with what they could do in an incident like that. Like, I've been on charters where it was raining, where we went in early. I have never seen a photo charter like that be able to adapt the way Dan Drennan and the railroad did, and major props go out to them. The day started out great, and then as the day kept going on, one of the run-bys, we knew we were going to get rained, and sure enough, we waited on the train. But they made it up to us. They really did, and it really did work out. Like, major props to them, because it could have went down the tubes. 60 sounded great. It was great actually hearing her work more. 2019, I don't remember her working that much. 2021, I thought she put on a fantastic show. This photo charter, I mean, every run by, it did fantastic, even the ones at night. And after that, you know, I definitely would love to attend another 60 photo charter where it doesn't rain. But I can't really say anything beyond that, because like it was a fantastic time. Finally being able to shoot the Central Railroad of New Jersey's station in Flemington. There was just so many shots that I've never gotten on that railroad, and until last year's photo charter, some of these spots I never realized existed on the railroad. My 3 visits so far to the Black River and Western Railroad have been fantastic. 60 hasn't operated since that weekend of the photo charter. And I hope 60 makes a comeback someday, because I would love to go back down to the Black River and Western Railroad. This was a memories video that's been a long time in the making, and I look forward to the day 60 reemerges from the Black River and Western again and is pulling excursions again. And I look forward to even the next Dan Drennan photo charter down there. Anyhow, I'm Christian.